Well, it's Friday, and you know what that means. It means that the stocks crash again. And yes, that's exactly what's going on. Oh man, every Friday, you can't miss. It crashes every Friday, okay? Ooh, Dow now 5 straight losing weeks for the Dow. NASDAQ is in a 5-month downtrend. So obviously NASDAQ down here today. This is actually a 1-year chart I pulled up of the NASDAQ. NASDAQ's actually down 3% over the past year. Obviously down a lot more than that over the past 5 months. It peaked out about 5 months ago, 16,000 plus. And ever since then, the NASDAQ has just been on a vicious downtrend to the abyss of stock market lows pretty much. So it's been tough out there, right? Russell, we all know this one, right? The Russell 5-month downtrend. The Russell on the 5-year, this is a 5-year chart I pulled up here. The Russell's up 43% in the past 5 years. That's not even good. Like that's actually pretty darn bad, especially when you consider, how much money's been pumped out there and those sorts of things. So Russell's in a vicious downward trend here of 5 months. And I think something very important to understand is when you get into these sorts of markets, right, where index is downtrend for, let's say, 6 to 18 months potentially. These markets come very few and far between. You don't very often see, indexes downtrend for more than 6 months. Okay. And so we have a real possibility of getting into that sort of market, right? I mean, heck, we're 1 month away essentially, right? The Russell peaked out November 1st of 2021, essentially, right? So here we are in the situation that if this just goes for, a few more weeks, next thing you know, we're in that 6-month downtrend. And if you look throughout the last, 30 years of stock market history, you're going to find there's very few times that the stock market actually downtrended for more than 6 months, essentially. And when you get those opportunities, you have to be a full-scale buyer because you could be waiting years and years and years before you get another, downtrend like that again. It doesn't happen very often, and when you do get it, you can't miss it, okay? It's kind of like missing a solar eclipse or something like that, all right? Beyond Meat is getting beyond destroyed. Look at this. Oh my gosh. 8.5% down Beyond Meat here today. Let me be very clear about Beyond Meat. This company has a tremendous, as far as the fundamentals of the company, 2022 will be tremendous for Beyond Meat, right? Q1, I think the numbers are going to be good. Q2, Q3, Q4, re-acceleration of growth. Every single quarter this entire year, in my opinion, was going to play out for Beyond Meat. I think they're set up in a great position, right? But I believe that, and I'm pretty darn confident that's going to happen. But in the short term, this doesn't matter. None of this matters. It doesn't matter about the reacceleration of growth, and none of that matters in the short term here. Now, as they start showing numbers, quarter over quarter over quarter, as the year progresses, they'll be in a great position, right? Company just reported about a month ago or a few weeks ago their last quarter for 2021, essentially Q4, and now they're going to get into all the future numbers are going to be the quarterly numbers of 2022. So this company's in a great fundamental position, in my opinion, in 2022, and I think its stock price will actually reflect very, very well in the back half of this year. But in the short term here, you can't deny that this is just a stock that just continues to get beat down, right? $2.4 billion market cap now in this one. It used to be like at the peak, I think it was 15, 20 billion, something like that, right? Stock is down 72.72% in the past year, essentially. It's just been a vicious beat down. I mean, it's on pretty much about a 9-month downtrend now for the stock. And, it's just showing no signs of a bottom. And that's the thing when you're going to see a lot with a lot of these stocks is just they're showing no signs of a bottom. And it's just vicious. And even when you think maybe it's at the bottom, like it's not necessarily at the bottom. That's why you kind of just, with these sorts of stocks, if you like a stock, you just got to buy it, put it in the filing cabinet. If it goes down a bunch more, you got to put it more in the filing cabinet. You can't try to time it out where it's like, oh, this is the bottom, or, it won't reach the bottom until next week. No one has any clue about that, to be quite honest. At the end of the day, if it's a great deal and you think, let's say Beyond Meat, let's say you think that's going back to $100+ over the next couple of years, you got to buy it at 38. You got to buy it at 42. You got to buy it at 35. You got to buy it at 45. It's just, that's kind of the way you got to treat this sort of market, because anything else, and, you'll get you'll either miss the deal or you'll get obliterated trying to perfectly time the bottom or something like that. You just got to buy, put it in the filing cabinet, call it a day. Okay. All the plant-based stocks, they all look like they didn't get any water today. Oh boy. Okay. Look at this. Chef's down big. Oh, and Chef's been holding up so strong. Like if you look at the last 6-7 weeks of the Chef, in spite of this horrible market we've been in, with so much going on with inflation, the Fed, stocks dropping all over the place, right? Russia, oil, all that stuff's been going on. And the Chef has been holding up so good for the last 6-7 weeks. Like really good. This stock bottomed out at like 10 something a share about 6 or 7 weeks ago. And it had been holding up so well. But today, couldn't hold up. It is down 6% here today. Oatly down about 5.7%. This actually hit a 4 at one point today. That's just silly. That's all I'll say about that. Obviously, we talk about Beyond. Varies down big, although the stock was up big yesterday on no news. It was very, very strange. But yeah, the plant-based stocks look like they got no water today. Ugh, yeah, they're all dying, okay? Tesla, Myesla. Oh boy, look at this one, okay? So if you didn't know, Tesla's under $800 a share today. 5-month downtrend now for Tesla. The stock peaked out November 4th of 2021 at over $1,200 a share. And ever since then, it's just basically been one big downtrend. Now, when it comes to Tesla's underlying business, let's be very clear about this. It's amazing, okay? The fundamentals of Tesla are amazing. This is why I think it's important to understand, when you go through these sorts of time periods where stocks just go through a vicious downtrend, 5-month, 6-month, 12-month downtrend, doesn't mean that company's trash or their business model is broken or something like that. They can have amazing things going on in their business model and their stock price can still go down. Like if no one wants to buy the stock, it just for whatever reason, right? Fear, whatever, that's the way it is. And so with Tesla, the numbers they're reporting are insane. Their production's insane. They have the best thing ever going for them right now, which is gas prices going insane. And pretty much every single human that is, drives a vehicle is going to the pump and like, oh my gosh, I got to pay this price. I think my next car is going to be an EV, right? It doesn't get better than that for Tesla. And so the higher oil prices remain for a longer period of time, the better off Tesla will be, because the more that will supercharge folks to say, you know what? Yeah, for sure. My next car I get is, going to be an EV, because essentially, even in this time period where Tesla has these incredible numbers and they're growing like crazy and whatnot, right? At the end of the day, what is going to be sold more? Internal combustion engines or EVs this year? Internal combustion engines by a mile, and it won't even be close. What about next year in 2023? Internal combustion engines will dominate EVs again. What about 2024? Internal combustion engines will dominate EVs again. At some point, maybe at earliest 25, probably 26 or 27, EVs will flip that and there'll start being more EVs sold than internal combustion engines when it comes to new cars. But that's not today. And if you want to talk about getting consumers over faster for their next car to consider being an EV of some kind, which the conversation starts and ends with Tesla, well, guess what? This is a great situation for them. So yeah, the fundamentals of the business are unbelievable, but that doesn't matter in this sort of market. None of that matters in this sort of market. Tesla could go to $500 a share, and it doesn't mean their fundamentals are broken at the company or they're a bad company now or something like that. It doesn't mean that at all. It just means that's the way the market wants to push it down right now in the short term. And so I think that's important to remember, because a lot of times people think stock price equals business fundamentals. And it doesn't work like that. It never has and it never will. Over the long term, that is true. But over the short term, over a 6 to 18 month span, that's not true at all. Over 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, that flip happens. But, I think that's very, very important, because some people get discouraged in these sorts of markets. And it's like, dude, Tesla could easily go to, $500 a share, $600 a share. And it doesn't mean the business model is broken. It doesn't mean they're ruined or anything like that. It just means that's, the market just doesn't want a piece of them. And if that's the situation, then that's the situation, okay? The good news is all the ratios are getting more and more attractive as the stock is falling, essentially. So that's pretty darn interesting, all right? Tesla Masla. Next up here, Meta is now in a 7+ month downtrend for the stock. It peaked down September of 2021. And basically for the last 7+ months, the stock has just been downtrending, right? Another company has great fundamentals underlying, and the difference between a Tesla and a Meta, well, Tesla's obviously much faster growth than a Meta, but the second thing that's different is Meta on every single valuation metric is just so low it's ridiculous, right? P ratio on Meta's a 13. Give me a break, man. Make me roll my eyes. Price to book on Meta's a 4. Price to sales on Meta's a 4. Market cap has fallen from $1 trillion plus to now, around a half $1 trillion. Like it's just been in a vicious downtrend. And even with the stock like Meta, it's kind of like, where's the bottom for this stock? Because here's the thing with Meta. At a 20 PE, that was silly pricing. Like it shouldn't have been trading at a 20 PE. At a 17, it was even more ridiculous. At a 15, it was even more ridiculous. It's at a 13. And so when you're in this vicious of a market, it's like, who's to say it's not going to go to an 11 PE or a 9 PE? And as stupid as that sounds, as stupid as like I can't even wrap my head around the thought of even Meta being at a 13 PE right now, never mind 11 or 9. This is just the nastiest market I've ever participated in, to be honest. And I'm somebody that started in the Great Recession. I haven't ever seen a market this vicious. I've seen the double dip recession. I've seen several markets where we go down 20+% on the indexes and the market goes into bear market. The sentiment turns negative, which if you want to know the definition of a bear market, that's when the indexes go 20% plus negative and where sentiment goes massively negative. And I've been in several of those markets over the past 14 years, including one. We're in one of those markets right now because NASDAQ and Russell have gone into bear market now. And the sentiment for the next 6 months is overwhelmingly negative. So right now we're in a bear market technically. And, that's what happens. If you're in one of these sorts of markets, nothing starts to matter. Valuations don't matter. Business models don't matter. Future doesn't matter. The market wants to push you down. They're going to push you down. And that's just the way it is right now with even a stock like Meta. It's just vicious, man. Absolutely vicious. Look at Teledoc. So Teledoc, you want to take a next step further? Teledoc's on a 13 plus month downtrend now for this stock, okay? Down another almost 9% here today. We know this is Cathie Wood's second biggest investment in the ARK fund. And, it just can't get out of its way. It is nothing this company can do right now to save it, in the short term, that is. 72% down in the past 1 year from from the 13 plus month highs that it reached in February of 2021. This stock is down 90%ish, roughly. And, or at least 80%ish, between 80 and 90%. And, with Teledoc, what can they do right now in the short term to save the stock price? They can't do anything. They can't do literally anything to save the stock price in the short term. That's just factual. There's nothing this company can report, what they can do in the short term. Until the market finally wants to switch and go a little more risk on, Teledoc is just going to continue to be a stock that tries to find a bottom, and you just can't find bottoms in these stocks. And it's insane. And, if it wasn't for so many other stocks being down, there's no doubt that a day like today with Teledoc at 55, I would be a buyer out there. It's just I'm looking at all these other stocks that at some point it's just there's probably 100 plus stocks, literally 100 plus stocks right now that I feel like are steal deals, right? Shooting a fish in a barrel, I call it. 100 plus stocks right now. It's so many stocks to buy, it's ridiculous. And there's only so much capital to go around, right? And so it's like, that's a tough position. In these sorts of vicious downtrending markets is almost everything's a good deal. I don't want to say almost everything, but there's a lot of good deals out there. And we went from a market, right, that if we go back 13 plus months ago when Teledoc was hitting those highs, where it was almost impossible to find good deals. Like I would say maybe 1% of the stocks in the stock market, if not less than 1% of the stock market, actually look like good deals, okay? I would say today, as of recording this March 11th of 2022, I would say 70% plus of stocks that are in let's say the Russell, S&P, something like that. I would say 70+% of stocks are a steal deal right now, okay? So, but who knows? Maybe it goes to 100% of stocks, and that's just the way it is, right? So that one's just in a 13-month plus downtrend. Look at FUBO. Oh, something interesting I noticed today is a lot of the retail stocks got hit harder today, it seemed, than usual, which is very, very interesting. But FUBO is on a 5+ month downtrend now. This stock's down 80% plus in the past 5 months now. 80% plus in the past 5 months. Just absolutely insane. Stocks under $7 here a day. I mean, it's gone all the ways from a, price to sales ratio of like 10. Actually back here it was way over a 10 to now price to sales ratio is 1.6. Market cap's gone from, back here, probably $5 billion, or even there was a $5 billion in market cap 5+ months ago. Today it's $1 billion. Just dropped off a cliff. I mean, just dropped off a cliff, and just incredible. I mean, this is a company at the end of the day. Yeah, sure, it's a money loser, no doubt. But at the end of the day, they got real customers, a lot of real customers. They have incredible revenue growth. In this sort of market, it just, none of that stuff matters. None of that stuff matters. You look at SoFi. SoFi's on a 5+ month downtrend now. The stock's down 60% plus over the past 5 months or so, okay? And SoFi, I've done a little digging on this one. It does seem interesting, I gotta say, and the revenue growth is pretty darn exciting. And it does seem like an actual real nice growth company in the fintech space. But SoFi can't get out of its own way right now. There's nothing this company can do to save its stock price in the short term. Until this market turns, there's nothing it can do. And, folks are looking for a bottom here, and you just can't find it, right? It was like, oh, maybe it's bottoming out at, 15, and then it's like, oh, maybe it's bottoming out at 13. Like, maybe it's bottoming out at 12, maybe 10. Now it's 8. And it's just like, where does it actually bottom at? And no one can really tell you that because no one really knows. And that's just the way it is in this sort of market. And everything's come down massively on SoFi, but there's no telling if that stock could go to 7 to 5. And, that's the market we're in. You got to accept that. Lemonade, the insurance company, which actually has some pretty exciting growth going forward over the next few years. This one's in a 13+ month downtrend now. Just in the past year, it's down about 82%, but I could tell you over the past 13 months, it's down like 90% plus based upon the highs it hit in February or around February, January of 2021. And when it comes to Lemonade, huge money loser. Yeah, it's an exciting company, but no one wants a long-term growth story right now. No one wants that. If people are throwing out Meta at a 13p, what do you think they're going to do to Lemonade? I mean, that just gets thrown out, and there's nothing this company can do until just the stock price just changes and mentality changes, okay? I posted this in the breadcrumbs tab here today. I said, my personal financial plan for 2022 is this. Buy stocks. I won't be buying new houses, cars, watches, clothes, or anything materialistic. Screw all that in 2022. I just want to load the boat all year on stocks. First time I felt like that since 2018, which is true. 2019, 2020, 2021 were all years where I bought stocks. I also bought cars, houses, etc. This year, nope. Just got to keep my eye on the prize. Everything else is just a distraction in a year like this. And that's exactly how I feel. What I know as somebody that has been in this market for 14 years and as somebody that studied, time periods way before I was in the market, you don't get these sorts of opportunities very often where all these stocks are just downtrending, hitting new all-time lows and new 52-week lows, new multi-year lows. You don't get those opportunities come very few and far between. And like many times in life, if you don't take those opportunities when you get those opportunities, they will pass you by. And you will be stuck saying, gosh, remember when I had that opportunity to do ... And that is something I do know. And so as me, I'm just looking at it as like, I'm just focused on buying stocks this entire year. Screw buying any houses this year. Screw buying cars or anything like that. You haven't seen me buying crap over the past, basically this whole year. And that's my plan for this entire year. The only thing I'm buying is stocks. Put my money in stocks. And that's all I care about this year. And that's all my plan is. And everything else, I don't even care about it this year. I'll drive my same cars. I'll live in my same houses. I'll wear my same clothes that I've been rocking. None of that matters to me right now. And that's a pretty darn good sign if you're a buyer of stocks, because like I said, I haven't felt like that since 2018. And 2019, 2020, 2021, it was like, I was buying stocks, but I was also buying other stuff. I was buying houses and stuff like that. Because stocks, I definitely saw some good deals, but at the same time, it wasn't like there were such great deals that I was like, I gotta just buy stocks, right? And I clearly feel very, very differently now. Very, very differently. And so that's my plan, and I'm just staying focused and keeping my eye on the prize. Now, I put out a video late last night. A lot of you guys were probably sleeping when I put that video out. I think I put it out past midnight, called The Market is Cooked. That video, I go through a ton of different charts and just things that are going to absolutely blow your mind. And I go through a lot of stuff that I've never shown ever on my YouTube channels before. So make sure you check out that video called The Market is Cooked. That's the latest video there. And also make sure you get some free stocks from Moomoo while they're still doing that deal. It's a limited time exclusive offer. 3 free stocks right now with the deposit of any amount of money. 1 free stock between $3 and $3,500, 1 between $9 and $3,500, and a free NEO share. Doesn't get much better than that. Woo! That's about it, guys. If you want a reason for why the stocks went down today, because it's Friday. Much love and have a great day.